So I am married to my husband Spencer for 2 years, but been together for 6 years total. We don't have kids. I have known Spencer since elementary school. We have had a loving relationship from the beginning. But now he is destroying it with his insecurity, after discovering I was with another guy before him. So he knows I am bisexual. I had dated girls most of high school. Until graduation, I slept with my best friend Maven, cousin Thomas. He was 16, and I was 18. When we slept together, he was the only guy I was with. We dated a bit, but it didn't go anywhere. I did date my last ex-girlfriend from 18, 20, in college. We broke up, then I got with Spencer. We have been together since. Spencer knew I dated girls, in high school and in college, but we really never talked about our past relationships and flings. But Spencer slept with half the girls I know in high school and slept with many in college. The thing with me is, I don't care for past relationships. It doesn't bother me. I'm not a jealous person. Spencer didn't show any signs at all of being jealous. When Spencer and I went to go see our friends, Maven, my best friend, was there. We were at Spencer's best friend's house. We were all drinking. It was fun. We watched a bit of movies and the topic of hookups came up. Everyone was talking about body counts and past relationships. Spencer did talk about how many girls he slept with to his best friend Ace. Then he boasted how he was the only guy that I slept with. Maven did cut him off and told him while giggling, "You mean second." Spencer was confused and asked me if it was true and with who. I did say yes and with Thomas. He just got quiet after that. The whole time there, he wasn't interacting with anyone that much. He was only on his phone. I did try talking to him, but he either didn't hear me or said one-word answers. When we got home, he snapped at me and told me I was an intimacy worker for letting a guy touch me. How he thought he was the only one? I just started crying. I told him that we never talked about our past relationships that much. It was even before we got together. He was dating another girl when I even got with Thomas. That was years ago. Why is he mad now about it? He proceeded to call me so many names and how I was gross if he was better. I just didn't answer him and went to our room and locked it. He slept on the couch and did tell me the next day he was sorry and drunk. I did forgive him. I thought we got over it, but when we do have intimacy or do anything romantically or sexually, he will always ask if Thomas was better. For everything. It was getting tiring. I told him to stop asking me this and reassured him that he was the best thing to happen to me. He did stop and things went back to normal, till I got a text and screenshots from Thomas, who I haven't spoken to in years. The last time we broke up, I was confused and saw the screenshots of my husband, threatening Thomas, saying he was going to unalive him, that he wished he was dead, everything awful. Now Thomas is married and has kids. So I am not sure where Spencer thinks he was going to get out of Thomas. I did apologize to Thomas and told him I had no idea this was happening, but Thomas told me to keep my husband on a leash and proceeded to block me. I was just furious. I confronted Spencer. We got into a huge argument. I told him I was divorcing him. He started crying and begged me not to go, but I left and stayed with one of my girlfriend's place. I'm done with his nonsense. His friends are harassing me and calling me an intimacy worker and a liar. His family is asking me to come back, but I just can't. He has put so much stress over something that had nothing to do with him. Years before we got together. Am I the idiot if I proceed with the divorce? Edit. To everyone thinking I was a virgin and lost it to Thomas. No, I lost my virginity to my first girlfriend in high school. Thomas was a virgin, not me, so I am sorry if I got everyone confused. Edit 2. Few people messaged me asking for my body count, which doesn't really matter. But here it is. 4 girls and 2 guys. The second guy counting Spencer. That's it. A total of 6. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I slept with a ton of women. You slept with one man? You intimacy worker. As if he didn't create the whores he had intimacy relations with in high school and college. He would be one of those guys. Absolute, not the idiot, dump him. Send the screenshots he sent Thomas to his friends and ask them if you're overreacting. Comment 2. If he didn't care that you were with other girls, but only cared that you were with another guy, he wants to be a pretty princess and act like he's the one good D-dick that saved you from being a homosexual. Now he knows he's not. I would divorce someone that shallow and insecure. Now for the update. Thanks for all the comments on my last post. Things have only gotten worse since then. After I left Spencer, I thought I could breathe again. But it was like he had a sixth sense for making my life miserable. I was at my friend's place trying to figure out my next move when I got a call from my boss. Spencer had shown up at my work, causing a scene, telling everyone how I had cheated on him and ruined our marriage. I hadn't cheated, but try telling that to my coworkers who now looked at me with suspicion and pity. I was mortified. My boss was understanding, but said it was best if I took some time off until things cooled down. So there I was, jobless and crashing on a friend's couch because my husband couldn't handle the truth about my past. I tried to keep my head up, but it was hard. I kept thinking about how Spencer and I had been friends since we were kids. We'd grown up together, shared so many memories. It hurt to think that all of that was tainted now. I remembered how he used to stand up for me when others would pick on me for dating girls. It was ironic how he became the one I needed protection from. The next blow came when I found out Spencer had drained our joint bank account. He left me with nothing. I couldn't believe it. I had to borrow money from my friend just to get by. It was humiliating. I had always been independent, and now I was relying on others to survive. I was trying to pick up the pieces when I got a message from Maven. She was worried about me and wanted to meet up. I agreed, desperate for a friendly face. We met at a small cafe, and she told me she had seen Spencer. He was spreading rumors about me, saying I had been with countless people before him, and that I was probably cheating on him with both men and women. I was furious. How could he twist my past into something so ugly? Maven tried to comfort me, but I could see the doubt in her eyes. It was clear she wasn't sure what to believe. I felt so alone. Even my best friend was questioning my character. I decided I needed to confront Spencer. I went to our house when I knew he'd be at work. I just wanted to grab some of my things and leave. But when I got there, I found all my clothes cut up, my pictures defaced. It was like a nightmare. I couldn't understand how the man I loved could do something so cruel. I left the house with nothing but a heavy heart. I went straight to a lawyer and started the divorce proceedings. I was done letting Spencer control my life, but Spencer wasn't done with me. He started stalking me, showing up wherever I went. I got a restraining order, but it didn't seem to faze him. He was convinced we were meant to be together and that I was just confused. One evening, as I was leaving work, Spencer confronted me in the parking lot. He was drunk and angry, blaming me for ruining his life. I tried to calm him down, but he wouldn't listen. He got in his car and started driving erratically around the parking lot, screaming that if he couldn't have me, no one could. I was terrified. I called the police, and they arrived just in time to see Spencer crash his car into a light pole. He was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. I felt a mix of relief and guilt. I never wanted him to get hurt, but maybe now he would finally leave me alone. The aftermath was a mess. Spencer's family blamed me for his accident, saying I had pushed him to the edge. His friends continued to harass me, and I was now the talk of the town for all the wrong reasons. I lost friends, my sense of security, and any hope of salvaging my reputation. The divorce went through, but it was a hollow victory. I was free from Spencer, but the scars he left were deep. I'm trying to move on, but it's hard. I'm staying with another friend now, trying to save up enough money to get a place of my own. I'm looking for a new job, but it's tough with the rumors still swirling. I never imagined my life would turn out like this. I thought Spencer and I would grow old together, but instead, I'm starting over, with nothing but bad memories and a broken heart. Thanks for reading. My sister sleeps with my partner and plays victim, but when she tries to take my nephew, I get a restraining order and expose her lies to the world. I, 24-year-old female, found out a few weeks ago that my long-term partner, 24-year-old male, had slept with my sister twice while I am pregnant. He has relentlessly claimed it was an accident. I don't understand how you can accidentally have intimacy with your fiancé's sister and then date her while trying to mend our relationship for our child. I have been open to the fact that I will allow him to be in our child's life, but I will not be in his as the bridges are burnt beyond repair. Anyway, my sister has tried to remain active in my pregnancy, but also in the life of my nephew, her son, 11-year-old male, whom I'll call Kay. I have full custody of Kay due to her mental breakdown and drug misuse after her partner died. He is aware of his real mom, but due to me raising him, he tends to call me Mom. A couple of days ago, it was my nephew's birthday. I invited my sister, as I always do, because she is his biological parent, but also my ex because he has played an active role in Kay's life. He's been around from the day he was born and has a bond with him. He asked for him to be there too. My personal circumstances and relationships will not impact my nephew's relationships, as they are separate from mine. Anyway, not everyone at his party was aware of the current situation, as I've tried to keep it under wraps and private for Kay. For my sanity, I don't want the stress of dealing with questions and other things. My sister broke down at his birthday. I removed Kay as quickly as I could, but she was screaming it wasn't fair for me to keep her son and her niece away from her. If I'm honest, I'm sick of being the villain in her life, and I snapped and calmly told her, "It wasn't fair for you to break my home by sleeping with my partner and then dating him to create your own home. But I hope you know a house built on another woman's tears will not stand. You'll lose him the same way you got him. He's your problem now." You could hear Kay scream and cry, claiming that she, my sister, isn't his mom to a family member who had taken him, and he's since refused to see her. Most people were taken aback when I said what I said to my sister because I had told the majority that we ended the relationship amicably. But I am no longer embarrassed and ashamed. I've had support from this, and people are standing by me and the kids. However, some people have said I shouldn't have said it, and I am alienating Kay from his real mother, even though I've done everything in my power for them to retain a relationship. But I can no longer deal with her outburst and need to put Kay's feelings first rather than hers, as well as my own family. My mother has threatened to call social services if I do not allow Kay to see his mom, regardless of his feelings and wants, and has called me a selfish brat who ruins and poisons whatever I touch. I've ceased contact after that final comment. I don't even know what is right or wrong anymore, but I am trying my best with the cards given. Am I the idiot? Throwaway account as my sister stalks my social platforms, from which I've blocked her. But every time user 356993 wants to add me or follows me regardless. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Your mom and anyone who thinks you went too far can absolutely go screw themselves into oblivion. I understand from your writing that your sister is not the most stable person. Your ex now gets the full brunt of that instead of just the intimacy and facade she puts on during the honeymoon phase. His lot in life will not be pleasant. Also, your sister now has to deal with all of your ex, not just the good parts. Comment 2. Protect your children. Period. Not the idiot. Your mother and anyone else complaining about this can go suck a cactus. Protecting the children is the priority, and you're a wonderful mother to your children. You went as far as to allow them to keep a connection for the child's sake, and yet she tried to abuse it. Well, this was a privilege and not a right. Time to cut them off. Now, for the update. Thanks for sticking around after my last post. So, things have only gotten messier since my nephew's birthday. My ex, the one who cheated with my sister, decided to make a bold move. He filed for custody of our unborn child, claiming I was an unfit mother due to the emotional instability he said I showed at the party. Can you believe that? The nerve of him using my defense of my family as a weapon against me. My sister, meanwhile, has been playing the victim card hard. She's been telling anyone who will listen that I'm keeping her son away from her out of spite. She's even managed to twist my own mother's arm into believing her sob story. My mom's been calling me nonstop, saying I'm tearing the family apart. She's siding with my sister, saying I should forgive and forget for the sake of family unity. But here's the kicker. My sister's been sneaking around trying to see Kay behind my back. She's been showing up at his school, at his soccer games, and it's freaking him out. He came home the other day, all shaken up because she cornered him after practice, crying and begging for his forgiveness. I had to take action. I got a restraining order against her for Kay's sake. It was the last thing I wanted, but what choice did I have? She's not stable, and Kay doesn't need that kind of drama. Then, as if things couldn't get any worse, my ex's true colors showed. He's been seeing someone else, someone from his work. And guess what? She's pregnant too. Turns out his whole fighting for custody act was just a ploy to look good in front of his new girl, to prove he's a responsible guy. I was floored. Here I was, thinking maybe, just maybe, he had a shred of decency left, that he wanted to be a part of our child's life. But no, it was all a show, and my sister, she's been spreading rumors that I'm the one who drove my ex away, that I'm the reason he's found someone else. She's been painting herself as the saint who got caught up in our mess, and now she's paying the price. The aftermath of all this has been a nightmare. My friends don't know who to believe. Some are on my side, but others think I'm being too harsh on my sister. They don't see the manipulation, the lies she's weaving. I've been trying to keep it together for Kay and for my baby on the way. But it's hard. Every day is a battle, and I'm fighting on all fronts. The latest blow came just last week. My ex's new girlfriend reached out to me. She's scared, she said. She's seen his true colors now, how he's manipulated both of us, and she doesn't know what to do. She's thinking of leaving him, but she's worried about her child, about doing it alone. I didn't know what to tell her. Part of me wanted to scream, "I told you so!" But another part of me felt sorry for her. She's just another victim in his game. So here I am, trying to pick up the pieces of my shattered life. I'm preparing for a custody battle, for a fight I never wanted. I'm trying to be strong for Kay, to show him that not all adults are like his mom and my ex. But it's hard. Some days I feel like I'm drowning. And the worst part, I'm starting to doubt myself. Maybe I am the villain in this story. Maybe I am tearing my family apart. But then I look at Kay, at his smile, at the way he still calls me mom, and I know I can't give up. I have to keep fighting, for him and for my baby. Thanks for reading. My girlfriend of 4 years shared my love letters with her friends. So after she lied about being pregnant, I exposed her cheating and watched her world crumble. I, a 25-year-old man, moved in with my girlfriend, a 24-year-old female, of 4 years 3 weeks ago. She chose the place, and although her name is on the lease, I paid half of the deposit and paid the first month of rent as she couldn't afford it. I also paid the first month of bills. She works part-time and has some savings she used to furnish the place according to her taste, despite my objections. I felt she overspent, and the money could have been better spent on other things. She had a few friends over on Monday when I came home. She had ordered food, and as I normally come home from work at 5, she was surprised to see me there an hour earlier. They were a little drunk, and one of her friends made strange comments, which I thought nothing of due to the alcohol as I went to the bathroom to shower. When I came out from the shower, her other friends and sister were quoting me poetry that I had written to my girlfriend, and were quite handsy. I found it odd and asked her where she had heard that. She said we just read your love letters to her before watching a movie. My girlfriend was laughing with them. Her sister made a remark about how she wanted me to do her the way I do her sister, because she had never felt that way. I was furious, but due to her drunkenness, thought it impossible to talk to her. I left for my mother's house. On Tuesday, she called me 17 times, but I ignored it. She also sent many texts wanting to know why I wasn't home. On Wednesday, I told her in person how hurt I was for her sharing my intimate letters with her friends, and for oversharing what we do in private. She said, "Relax, it was a joke and nobody got hurt." She said the girls were impressed with me, and that is why they got a little handsy. She said once I gave her the letters, they were hers to share with whom she pleased. So I told her that I am my own person, and can make the decision to not share more of myself with her. Today, she came to my mother's apologizing. She wanted me to come back and talk it out with her. I told her no, and that we were through. She wouldn't leave, so I drove to my father's place, where I am now. She kept texting me and telling me that I should be ashamed of myself for leaving her like that. She got her friends and sister to apologize to me, and they told me to quit playing games and go home, now that they had apologized. I told them I was home, and that as my name was not on the lease and I wasn't respected as an equal in her home, I no longer wanted to be with her. Luckily for me, I hadn't moved most of my stuff there. She kept phoning and texting, and I blocked her. She then made a mutual male friend of ours contact me and tell me that I was being a witch about it, so I blocked him too. Then his girlfriend texted me and told me not to take things out of proportion. I am almost certain I did the right thing, but maybe I should talk it out with her before cutting all contact. TA, she follows my main. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the idiot. Writing a letter to someone is always addressed to the person who received it and not to her sister or friends. Sharing emotions, thoughts, and love is a thing between you two. She just played with these things around her friends and sister. These love letters became a toy for entertainment. You feel hurt and betrayed, and I would feel the same way. You did the right thing for you, and if you feel to break up with her, that's your right thing to do. Wishing you all the best, brother. Cheers. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Can you imagine what this situation would be viewed as if this was a guy treating a girl this way? She comes home to him, and his friends are drunk. They've gone through her intimate stuff that she's given him. He talks to them about their intimacy lives, and they all come up to her and start being handsy with her and telling her how great she is and to frick them in the same way. Then later on, call her, apologize to her, then tell her she's being too sensitive and a witch for not coming back. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around for this update. So after I thought I'd seen the last of her, things got even messier. She showed up at my dad's place. Can you believe it? I didn't even tell her where he lived, but there she was making a scene on the front lawn, crying and begging me to talk to her. My dad, bless him, tried to be the peacemaker, saying maybe we should just hash it out, but I was done, you know? I couldn't even look at her. But she wasn't taking no for an answer. She started bringing up old memories, trying to guilt trip me. She talked about that time we got lost on a hike and had to share one granola bar between us, or the night we stayed up watching shooting stars, promising each other forever. It was low, using those moments against me. And then, as if that wasn't enough, she dropped a bomb. She said she was pregnant. My world stopped for a second, but something didn't sit right. We'd been careful, always. I asked her for proof, and she showed me a test. Positive. I felt trapped, like the walls were closing in on me. I agreed to talk, but only in public at a coffee shop the next town over. We met, and she was all tears and apologies again. But when I pressed her about the pregnancy, she got defensive, said I was accusing her of lying. I just wanted the truth. Finally, she admitted it. There was no baby. She thought it would make me stay. I was so angry I couldn't even speak. I just got up and left. I thought that was it, but no. The next thing I know, she's telling everyone we know that I abandoned her and our unborn child. My phone blew up with messages from people calling me a deadbeat. I couldn't believe she'd stoop that low. I had to set the record straight. I told our friends the truth, that she lied about the pregnancy. Most of them were on my side, but a few still thought I was the bad guy for leaving her in the first place. It was like no matter what I did, I couldn't win. But then, one of her friends, who'd always seemed to have it out for me, reached out. She said she was sorry for how things went down, and that my ex had been bragging about how she could manipulate me into anything because I was such a pushover. That stung, but it was also a wake-up call. I realized I had been letting her walk all over me, and it was time to stand up for myself. I gathered all the evidence I had, the texts, the fake pregnancy test she'd left at the coffee shop, everything, and I sent it to everyone who'd messaged me. I wanted them to see the kind of person she really was. It felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. And then, as if karma was on my side, her sister reached out to me. She said she felt terrible about the whole thing and that she'd had a falling out with my ex over her behavior. She admitted that my ex had been cheating on me for months with some guy from her work. I was floored. It hurt, but it also explained so much. I didn't want revenge or anything. I just wanted to move on. So I did. I focused on work, spent time with family, and started going out with friends again. I even started seeing someone new, someone who treats me with respect and doesn't play games. As for my ex, last I heard, she moved in with the guy from her work. Good riddance. I'm just glad I'm out of that mess. Thanks for reading. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.